Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and we are on another session of Girl by Moonlight, Sea of Stars, which we are calling Divine Engines. And this is a Forged in the Dark game, and it's pretty wild. We have our set of young characters who are fighting against a overwhelming force. I won't go too much into detail on this, but I encourage you, if you're curious about how the world building occurs for this particular game, you check out the session 0 because there are a lot of interesting questions, and we did some, I think, striking developments here. Our characters are in the Muramasa system. They have warped to there. It is our team of 4, as well as a former pilot named Soren, who has been brought along. You have traveled to the Muramasa system because you've gotten a signal that indicates that another vessel, one of these ships, like the grand ship that you have been riding in, was here, and that there is signals that suggest that there is one, and as you found out last time, perhaps even 2 engines present. And so you made the jump, attempting to get your way there to the ship, which is known as the Yorimitsu, which is inside the corpse of a Leviathan. Things people wanted on wishes. Want to be an onlooker to see his antics. That was something that was on there. Wish to interact with Tav. Super into the weirdness of the blowfish when we get there. Zavi also exploring the strange blowfish. And then Octavius interactions. A scene with Manny. So those were some of the things that were on the list because we missed last week because it was Thanksgiving. So if it seems like we're perhaps a little bit out of it, it's because it has been 2 weeks. So our group is flying in. You've made that warp and you have appeared in the Muramasa system. Again, we've talked about there being weird gravatic waves and this sort of the temporal, not temporal, but the sort of the physiographic forces in operation in the system that are causing some problems. And you have come in, and I believe that on our approach roll, we ended up with a 5. So you are in kind of a mixed, dangerous position as you come in here. So with that in mind, let us start with Sia. Sia, you are here. You see that ship up ahead, gigantic, necrotic. There are things inside of this Leviathan. The Leviathan appears dead. And I do definitely put a question mark on that. What do you want to do?
Um, I think it's worth considering before jumping in the uh, possibly dead, but who knows, body of a Leviathan. Never really done much gathering information stuff.
Okay. Uh, what do you think you're using to do this today? And then we'll look at your question list.
Yeah. Um, I definitely think it's the um like the instrumentation we have on the ship.
Okay.
Um, I'm an integral part of this mission, so they'll probably let me on the bridge to press buttons for this one.
Except there is no bridge here. You four are on your
that's
own.
right.
You warped to here.
Are we not on like a smaller ship or something?
No,
we warped
you are
in
out
here.
in your engines in
Gotcha,
space.
gotcha.
You do have
Then
a
yes,
device that you need to grab onto to activate the warp. Hopefully it won't get broken.
The big giant head.
Yes.
Then yeah, this would be I forgot names. Oh dear.
Analyze?
Lyra.
Lyra.
The engines.
Okay.
But yes, analyze.
Okay. Let's have you make that roll. Look at you. You don't have any stress on your character sheet.
No, I'm fine. I'm happy. It's great. Everything's cool. On a mission. It's fun.
Absolutely.
That dead thing's definitely dead and gonna stay that way. What? I mean, what would be a poison promise on something like this?
What would be a poison promise on something like this? I think a poison promise would be that I'm going to start a clock that represents the buildup of the strange gravimetric pressure in the area.
I mean, starting clocks is
What?
nothing. That's like that's.
Or you know what? Let me take that back. Let me make you an easier offer. Let's make you an offer that won't cause you any problems right now. How about this? You can get an extra die, and I'll just put a tick on the bastion.
On the which one?
Yeah, we got that track for the bastion there. Last bastion has almost no ticks on it. You guys are isolated and away from the general bridge area, so makes sense.
All right. See how this goes.
Absolutely. I'll just take that tick off, and we'll give you that extra die.
It's one die.
Look at that.
Well, I got a 6 with it.
That is a 6, so you get some questions.
Yes. This Leviathan corpse, and whatever. What does it intend to do? Is it really dead? Is it going to stay inert? Is there anything that looks like it's hidden or active or might activate?
I'm sorry, which of those questions are you asking me?
What does it intend to do?
What does the Leviathan corpse intend to do? It intends to rest and recover and reawaken.
Fun.
And you still got some more questions, right?
How far do I feel like it is through that process?
It is pretty far along on that process.
It's pretty far. Yeah, it seems like it would be pretty far along on that process.
Yeah, I just rolled a 6 on my fate die here.
That wasn't very nice of you, but I guess, wow. Okay, fine.
But right now it is inert.
Wait, there was a 6 on your fate die?
Yeah, I rolled a fortune fate die. Not a fudge die. That's a different thing.
Totally. It's not even close to the. Why would you think they're the same thing? I will.
You still have, I believe, one more question, right?
Bad blood there.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. I think that you get more. It has been a while since we've done the gather information. I just want to check this to make sure before we go to 81, 82. So you get 2 questions and a follow-up. So you've had 2 questions, so you get a follow-up.
What would impede its regeneration?
Well, right now it has in its stomach a vessel that has 1 or 2 engines in it.
Success! Success will ensure our safety.
That is what it will be. Let's come to Zavi. Zavi, you come in here. You are still, I believe, in shadow, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
So what do we see you doing?
Get my gather information questions are less than helpful for this situation. I don't know. Got maybe one good one. So I think I am kind of circling it, looking for ways in, ways out, any sort of external weapons it might have. Just generally like, okay, I know what we need to do. What's the safest way to do it? Kind of thing. As if I could tell from looking at this thing, as if I know all about giant space blowfish.
Well, does that feel like analyze?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
Unless no, analyze is the only one that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Cool. I have 1 die in that. And I'll just roll it. And I'll fail.
That is a 3. I
That
think
is.
that as you are circling around, you kind of break away from the others. And I think you kind of don't have a clear sense of the enormity of this thing. And so it does take you a while to swing back around to where the others are. I think that eats up a little bit of time. So I'm going to put another tick on the Bastion track. Unless you'd like to resist that.
I am not clear. I have never been clear on what the Bastion track even does.
Oh, so what the Bastion track is how much damage has been done to the Bastion. Right now, it's on tier 3. It's still at the top tier. It's lost a couple of ticks, but
It
a couple of ticks
kinda represents the remainder of humanity that's left alive.
Yeah,
It's the biggest concentration of it for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Biggest only. It depends on how you phrase that.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of room to resist things, though, unfortunately.
Just want to take 1 tick. It doesn't push it over to the next tier.
Yeah.
But
there we go.
When you're in eclipse, doesn't stress act the opposite?
Yeah, but when I run out, I just die.
Okay.
Essentially, they'll burn if they burn through it.
Right. So they have 5.
Right, and
if
I
we
want to
don't
save it
try to
for
help
when we're
them-
actually fighting, as opposed
Okay.
to the like the gathering information before stuff happens, because like I'm probably going to need it to keep someone from getting
I
killed.
think what Sherry's wondering is if you did resist, would you gain stress or would it subtract stress?
I think it subtracts.
It would subtract.
Ah, okay. So it would be the opposite for us, Sherry. And if it
Okay.
gets to zero, that
yeah.
would do it. Okay.
I wasn't sure what was.
I wasn't
opposite.
either.
Right. It just kind of moves it kind of flips the goalposts on you.
Yeah, and he's got 7 stress marked right now. So if all of those
Right,
get
yeah.
spent, then
Exactly. I don't want to spend them like I'm saving them for use during the like when I actually need them.
Let's bring us around to Octavius as this is going on.
All right. I see did you inform us of what your readings have been thus far?
yeah, I will say there's the Leviathan's not completely disabled. It's feeding itself on the engines inside of it. We need to get them out before it finishes draining their power source and wakes up.
All right. Zev, you're looking for a way in. Manny, I have an idea. If the
Okay.
ship's in there, I mean, obviously we're gonna have to go in to get those engines. But do you think when we get in there, there's anything of those ship's engines left? Maybe we could overload them. Not of the ship's engines, not the.
I know. I understood. Yes, not the engines, the ship's engines. I got you. I'm going to ask a question here because we've been referring to Patrick's character as Sia, but I believe that Patrick is radiant right now. Is
Yeah,
that
you're
not
radiant,
correct?
aren't you?
I think I actually had to
okay.
come as Radiant because we were in the engines.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify because if we had
Absolutely.
Sia, that would be like, oh yeah, Sia know what to do. But I don't think that we have that knowledge. So we're like,
First, we got to find a way in, I guess, right?
find a way in. Read a manual real quick, and maybe Soren knows what to do.
So what do you want to do, Octavius?
I think I'm going to also begin kind of giving a look to see if I can find an entry.
Okay. So right now you're trying to find an entry point. Okay. So that definitely feels like analyze to me.
Doke. So I have 2.
Yeah.
And I do have a +1 effect.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to spend 1 with Pegasus to give me another die.
Okay.
The longer we wait, the more Bastion's going to get eaten, it sounds like. Oops, I didn't. No, I'll roll 1 more die. I hit the wrong thing. Ugh. I got a 4.
You got
Not
a
bad.
4. So that is a mixed success. So I think that you will spot a way in, but for what you're seeing, there is a gravimetric nexus near that spot, and I think you are going to take harm to your engine as you spot it, unless you want to resist that. Essentially, you swing past, and it's almost a distortion that strikes your engine that kind of shakes it up and does the damage that indicates to you that this is an entry point.
I'm gonna have to resist.
Okay.
Pegasus will be very angry. Yeah.
Can I help resist that for you?
Feel free.
So I'd like to, as part of this, like you know, zip in front of Tav as that gravimetric wave is building, and my big reveal as I go transcendent, I can choose to immediately disappear and reappear at any time in the place of your choosing. So could I, in this resistance, like use this gravimetric wave to ride it inside, disappear, explode? I don't know. It's a, you know, dramatic moment here on the outside, but disappear and then reappear inside the thing.
Sure, but everyone else will still have to make their way in, and you'll be isolated
Yes.
from them.
Yes,
That's
the thing.
I'm excited for this possibility. So yeah. So go ahead and roll to resist.
Stars with cleverness and elegance.
What? Sure, I'll give you
Is there
that.
sincerity,
Because you can
clarity,
still roll terribly.
and resolve. What? Why would you say something like that?
Oh, I take it back.
Sure, it'll be great. Yes, gonna do that. Gonna get that and then roll those things. That is the 3.
So mark 3 stress.
Not
Ouch.
bad.
And Octavius, as you kind of get that spot and you're about to be sucked in, Radiant swings forward, swings into the way, takes the hit and vanishes.
Radiant, report. Where are you? Oh,
Tab?
hell.
Tab, are you out there? Are you all right? Did you take any damage?
And I guess it gets muffled. So I'm not getting it.
Well, I think I haven't applied that as a disadvantage, so I'm not going to say. I will say that I think communications are going to come through, but I do think they are that those communications may wear out here in time. Does that seem like fair?
Mm.
So that was Tav, man, and you'll see that happen, but then you'll hear Radiant come in over comms. What do you say, Radiant? To reassure your comrades.
I don't know. I suppose. What do I see? What's going on?
It is blackness and darkness and red pulsing like you're inside a living creature. You will see the wreckage of a vessel scattered throughout, jammed into the internal organs of this thing. Clearly, they blew their ship up in here, and the pieces have gone. And you will see that there are the wreckage of several engines in pieces scattered around the interior of this. And at the very far end, from what you can see, you will see 2 silhouetted shadow, like embedded in flesh and blood, shapes that might be engines.
Lyra's systems are stable. I think I'm inside the structure. Things are chaotic in here, but not active, at least. I think I see the engines.
Man,
I think she says, Zavi, Tav. I think that radiant slingshot trick was perhaps, well, I would have preferred if it had been communicated better, but it isn't a bad choice. I think that if we go in together, you two can use the gravimetric pull to give you some speed and momentum to shoot through there. I'll see if I can't navigate to take the worst of the hit and then join you. Okay.
Man, and I don't want to go against what you're saying, but remember, you've got a payload with you. Are you sure you're the one to risk?
I have the best armor.
Yeah, but does the pod?
And she says, yes, has the same armor I do.
All right, Cap.
All right. You don't ask for help. So you follow your code.
That's right.
So what do you do to try and get this gravimetric anomaly open for your compatriots?
I think that what we saw as we went in, if I understood right, is they came in, it opened up and like sort of created an opening for them, but also that thing was set to explode, right? At that time.
So here is what you know is that there is some kind of semi-dead blowfish kind of creature, Leviathan. And at some point, when it was fighting against your another vessel, it apparently swallowed it, and the ship captain apparently tried to fight from the inside. It looks like there were engines that were destroyed on the inside, and then the ship captain detonated the warp core.
Right. All right, so that it wasn't that we found an entrance or anything there. It's just that I'm sorry, was that
So that's a different thing from the entrance. The entrance way
Okay.
that you found was a gap where there was a weird the gravimetric energy that this thing seems to have was dancing around that, like that's a wound that's in it.
that was what I
And-
was asking about?
Right, and
I'm
the
sorry.
the
Okay.
scab is the gravimetric energy.
Okay. All right, I got it then. Then essentially what it is I want us to move towards there and I will take that side with the gravimetric. And
So your action is going to be trying to dissipate, hold back this field so the others can get in.
correct.
Okay. What do you want to roll for that?
So I think that is probably defy. Or it could be flow, but I think that it is probably more correctly. Well, I'm looking at the wrong sheet, so who knows what I'm doing here. Yeah, I could do that.
You want to do defy?
Yes, I will transcend though, in order to do that.
Okay. So you will activate your transcendence.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll spend a Zavi link to give you a die as I try to usher Zavi and I quickly through.
Okay.
Okay.
So you'll roll that with 2 dice right now, right, Manon?
I believe that I have transcendence, so that's no transcendence is just on the things with the thing. Sorry about that.
Right.
Yeah, but I do am I taking a resistance or am I taking an effect roll of some sort?
You're making an effect roll here
Okay,
with
effect.
defy.
So and I will spend a link myself with Soren. Can I do that?
I believe so. Yep.
Okay. Because I'm protecting him and I will roll 3.
Right. So that's 3 dice plus 1 effect for how dare you.
All right, that sounds good. And then I will reopen my roller because apparently I am still just gotta keep on closing it, you know? Okay, here we go. All right, so that is, it seems like 4d6.
3d6.
I had 1.
Had
I got a
1.
link. I
Yep.
got a
2.
link and I got a dare. How dare you?
The how dare you is an effect, not an extra
Oh,
die.
I thought you said it. I am sorry. It's a +1 effect. All right. Sorry. 3d6 rolled. I got a 5.
5. So additional effect brings that up. But I do think you are going to take a level of harm from the crackling of this. You're going to recover a stress first because you succeeded on the action. But essentially, you have to strain your engines, the power on this, to hold this back. So you are going to take a point of damage on your engine.
Can I resist that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And oh shoot, we've been forgetting, when we use a link to help someone, we now give 2 dice instead of 1 for our upgrade to the ship.
Yeah.
Wait, what happens?
We got our playbook for the ship the last time, so
Right.
I should have given you 1 more die.
Oh,
We now, when we help each other, give 2 die in helping instead of just 1.
oh, got it. Okay.
That was our advance.
But we forgot.
We forgot.
So if I roll my 46, but that's cool. So now I'm going to roll to
And you got an assist there and succeeded, so you clear a stress from sync ratio
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I think that's what I just
You know you get a
marked.
second one because of your
Ooh.
effect.
Okay,
The
so now
how dare you gave you one as well.
wait, what? Oh,
Yeah, that's where the 2 came from.
okay. So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna resist this because I'm watchful. When I've protected an ally, I get a +1d to my resistance roll. Yes. And then- no.
This is not you protecting an ally. I don't think that
Oh,
because you're
protected
setting.
ally is when you actually say, "Oh, I'll take your
Yeah.
stress for you." Okay, no problem. So when I'm doing this resistance, it's a resist against it's against 1d
Sun.
sun. Okay, so it's a 1d6.
Yes.
All right, a 4.
Okay. So take 2 stress.
Okay,
So
back
a
where I
net
started.
0 on that.
Yeah, not bad at all.
But you've got this held open for the moment here. Let's come back to actually let's do Zavi outside. And then let's come to Radiant. Zavi, what do you do when Manon opens it up? Do you fly into the maw of this thing and head inside?
Yeah.
Okay. So you will fly in. You will see Radiant there. You'll see the fragments of this ship around on it. You can also see, like, as you come by, that there are little outlines on the inside of the body of this thing that you realize are the husk corpses of the crew of this ship. Remember I described the kind of the stretched faces on the outside of this thing?
Yeah.
Like and you'll realize that that's probably where those faces are from. You'll see the damaged bits, and again, bits of the broken ship that have jammed into the fleshy inside of this thing. That kind of red, raw look where the wounds are there. You'll see the broken. Tell me, what does one of these broken engines look like? The ones that are clearly destroyed.
There's one not just humanoid shaped, but shaped like a particular like legendary character.
Okay. Like a mythic statue, and it is twisted and torn. You'll kind of just at the corner of your eye recognize it. And again, at the very far end of this interior pulsing chamber are those 2 engines embedded in flesh. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go check those out.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like try to pull them out yet because
Sure.
I want to check with the others first, but I'm gonna check it out and like kind of look at, okay, where would be the easiest way to get to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's
And I
have
think
you.
as you come in and turn towards them, radio will say, "Excellent, Zavi. We need to hurry. We need to get these things disconnected as soon as possible. Come!" And shash that way.
Yep. Cool.
So Zavi, let's have you do analyze here.
Yeah.
I'll spend a link with Zavi
Hey.
to get my +1.
Cool.
You mean
thanks.
a +2?
A
Yes.
+2. I do mean that.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. 3d6.
This is the last time I'll
And
remind
one of
you
them's a
of
6.
that.
Thanks
So
for the help. I got a 6.
So this is gather information, right?
Yeah.
What is it you want to know? You've got 2 questions and a follow-up.
Yeah. So my list of questions is well, what is most dangerous here?
Well, let's see. That's a really hard question. There are 2 things that are most dangerous here. One is the fact that the very coming in here, the 2 of you with your engines, that creates energy in here, and this thing is waking up.
Mm-hmm.
But number 2, when you go and look at the engines at the end, you'll realize that at first it looks like they're identical. But then you'll realize that they're the same like shape. One is slightly larger, maybe by about 50% than the other. It's humanoid. Just generally, I'll let people describe what it looks like. But one of them is definitely an engine, and the other one, connected by great fleshy tendrils, is a mockery of it, a size and a half flesh thing that is starting to move and is connected to that other engine.
Okay.
Oh no.
So that was your first question.
Right. All right.
Why do you keep asking questions?
Okay. Wow,
One more
these
question and a follow-up.
Questions are not I guess who here is strong or vulnerable is the closest to a useful one.
So who here is strong or vulnerable?
Yeah. It's
which one do you want to know?
I guess who here is vulnerable?
You will look and you will see that there is another one of these pairs, but kind of buried down lower on. And it looks to you like that one is in the beginning of the pod engine process. So the hooked on draining false engine is significantly smaller. It's like 75% of the size of the actual engine that's buried in the flesh. That one looks like that's going to be an easier fight than the one that's huge.
Cool.
You have a follow-up.
Yeah. Yeah. Do the connections look like trying to think of how to like obviously I want to cut the the tendrils connecting them.
Yeah.
But I want to do that without like waking the creature up that we're inside.
So your question is?
My question is like, yeah, how do I do that? Like, okay, so it's
you
energy
would need to anesthetize or numb the area before hitting, like a surgeon does.
Right. Okay.
Does
Okay.
that sound like a fair answer?
That does sound like a fair answer. I have no idea how to do that,
Okay.
but that is a fair answer.
Yeah. Hey, Sia, Radiant, have you
Mhm.
suffered any stress?
Some.
Okay. Well, the good news is because you assisted and someone and they succeeded, you get to clear a stress. This is
That's
the
so
last
true.
time I will remind you of this.
I feel like this move might come up a lot.
It might, and I'm never going to remind any of you of this again. What do you do, Radiant? And then I want to come to Tav, and then we'll come back to Manon.
Tozavi, do you
Oh yeah,
share about
I'm talking my way through this the whole time.
see what you can do with the smaller pair. Learn how to disconnect them. I'll keep this thing busy. And I will move forward towards the big, angry, fleshy, gross, angry thing.
Absolutely. I think we'll hear that orchestral music. We hear the choir start to sing in the background as this thing pulls its limbs off from the wall and powers up and begins to move towards you.
Does it have like any obvious glowing parts or central power core or anything like that?
In the sense that your engines don't, it probably doesn't.
Okay, yeah, just go for center mass then.
Unless you want to make that a question that you want to ask and do your action, or do you want to attack it?
No. This is just looking, not gathering.
Yeah. No, the only sort of energy thing you're seeing is kind of the gravity distortion is clearly using gravity weapons.
Gotcha. Then yeah, I think Lyra would scream a challenge and go diving in towards its center of mass to stab their beak in there and rip around some.
Absolutely. Gain an extra die because your engine's virtue is fierce. So we'll give you an extra die for that. This feels like
Oh no.
like what?
Give me a moment. I'm phrasing how I'm telling you that it doesn't feel like defy.
All right, so take your thing heads on. Well, it does definitely look like that, doesn't it?
It's not. No, I think it's.
I'll spend a
Yeah,
bond to help.
cool. I think it's defy.
Okay.
But my engine and Zavi are helping though.
Okay. So that's one die for your engine, and you get dice for the assist.
I get two
you get
dice.
two dice. Okay, good.
Yes, so
good,
that's
good. Glad you
three
remembered.
total.
That's three total.
You get some indeterminate number of dice or die. Who knows? Who can
Okay.
say? Yes, the dome doing the thing. That's a thing, and that is 2 6.
That is a fucking critical. What is it that you like? It's not going to take it out, but like what do you hit it with, and how do you deal a crippling blow to it?
It's like biped humanoidish shape.
Yes.
Yeah. So as Lyra goes in and like stabs it sort of through the chest area and opens their beak up, there's this ripping, and we see like Radiant, who's inside the glowing sphere of a cockpit, pulling on indeterminate weird controls, but very stressful, like doing a turn, and as the engines power up and we like turn to the right, part of its chest and one of its entire arms gets ripped off.
Absolutely. You will tear that off of there. Octavius, you see Zavi there kind of darting around doing the analysis. You see Radiant fly into this thing and tear a chunk off from it.
Mhm.
What do you do?
Manage your following in behind.
I am behind.
All right, if Zavi's right, we've got to numb the space to get that to get our engine free. I think I have a means of doing that.
Propellant?
Pardon?
Your propellant?
No, something a little more unusual.
Well, that's good.
So you'll have to act quick. Cut it free as soon as I get in there. All right?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to head in, do a quick look to see where we are.
Okay.
And all right, Peg, we got to get to the base of where this thing's holding the engine. Quick. And I'm gonna try something. And so I think we see Pegasus whipping in. I'm transcending.
Okay.
And I'm going to push myself.
Okay. Mark 2 stress.
I will aid you with a Zavi thing.
Okay.
So,
I'm marking
dice for
2
you.
stress for
Pushing yourself.
pushing me. Yes.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is I figure something this size. I've kind of not used this on something as big as a bad engine, the evil Leviathans, because I figure it can't affect the entirety of. But I'm going to try to go to where the base of these ganglia are that are holding the engine.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to take that area out of time for a brief period.
So let's do that as flow.
Okay.
Resolve that with flow, with the benefit from your push allowing you to do that, taking it out of time.
Okay.
So right now you'll have 2 dice from that, plus another 2 dice, I believe, from Manon.
2 dice from Manon.
And you also pushed yourself, so that's another die. So right now
Another
you're rolling
die.
5 dice.
5 dice.
There's no chance you could fail.
Oh, thank you. And by chance, does this is this a principled sort of getting our engine free? Does that hit my principled working with Pegasus?
I don't think necessarily in this case here. I'm not sure what
I'm prodding at it because I don't know how to do many principled actions with an engine. But okay, I understand. I'm going then with 5 die. There we go. Well, I did not fail. I got a 4.
So
And
I think
4 2s.
You will
2 4s.
Your main concern is not waking the big thing up. Like that's your big thing here. So I won't put that as a potential cost here. But I do think that I am going to I'm going to deal damage to your engine. Unless you want to resist that.
Stress out, I go to Eclipse. I'm going to resist.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Are you like super close, Steph?
I'll spend a link to bring you down to stress.
Thank you. All right. And I have 2 in everything now since I'm
okay. Roll me 2 dice.
4, so I take 2.
Take 2 stress to resist that hit, that knockback. We're going to bring Manon into the scene. after we take our break, because we're at that hour thing. So let's take our 10, and we'll come back into the fight after the commercial break. So what does it look like when you snap these ganglion tethers, Octavius?
Am I getting to snap them, or am I setting up mana? Can I make it snap?
I think it's worth it to let you snap, because I think that's an incidental effect. Like, we've still got several foes on the table, so I think separating that from that engine is reasonable. So tell me what that looks like.
Then I think as I transcend, we kind of get the glow up that happens with Pegasus and with me, and those that happen to be watching, you'll see a strange field where I'm reaching the base of those ganglia, and maybe even a little of the glow or the sense of Bastion itself, since it's kind of their power I'm using. But as that energy goes in, that space at the base just kind of locks in a way that is more than stillness. It is as though it is completely held in place in time and space. And very gently, carefully, the silver tendrils of Pegasus move around and slice through, pulling that engine back and away.
We will separate those ganglion. The larger engine is still embedded in the flesh, but it is cut off from this giant fleshy engine. And then we've got the other engine that's the smaller one and the smaller fleshy thing. So this is what they are going to do. The bigger one is still hanging on to you, Radiant, has taken that crippling wound, and it is going to fly into the wall of the interior of this thing to essentially, as much as anything, try to awaken the creature. So you may resist that if you wish.
Me?
Yes, Radiant. You are the one hanging on to it.
Yeah, I would like to.
Okay.
And it's disconnected from the...
Yeah, it's cut off from those
Anglian,
point. And it's clearly kind of recognized that severing, but now is going to try and slam you against like some of the wreckage that's embedded in, so to drive it further, to maybe awaken the creature as a whole.
Yeah, is there something softer I could land us on, or less like
you tell me, like what is going to be your tactic, so that you can justify to use stars?
I think what I'm doing is like trying to angle this impact to hit like more lightly off of a couple of walls to slow us down, so that it's not one big impact.
So trying to calculate where you can hit and disperse the energy. Okay. Let's have
it being bigger, I don't know I quite have the strength to just like push head on against it.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll 3 dice. Look at you. You will get a stress back from that.
Never roll crits in Forge. This is insane.
Zavi, this smaller one, comes wrenching off, trailing this thing behind you, but will actually grab onto those ganglia connecting and swings to hit you with this smaller engine, swinging it like a morning star at you. So it is going to do damage to your engine unless you want to resist that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to resist that. Um,
And if you
uh,
take stress, they go down, right?
right,
Okay.
but that's
so-
bad.
Well, it's bad if it goes all the way to eclipse too, again, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yes, I believe
Okay.
so.
Can you double eclipse?
Well, let's see here.
I don't know, maybe it isn't.
Let me look at the thing on Eclipse. Since it is a mechanic we haven't engaged with as much. Let me quickly check the index. Oh, it has an index. That's so nice.
Love an index.
Okay. So you do go to Eclipse. Okay. When in Eclipse, use stress in reverse, erasing accumulated stress, and I normally take it. You do not clear stress or your transcendence track at the end of a mission. If an effect causes you to recover stress while in Eclipse, instead it can increase your stress. It gives you power. It comes at a cost. It also brings risk. If your stress ever reaches 0, then you go bad. But if you go to the end, it doesn't do anything.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Sorry, I
I'm-
just didn't want you to.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty
And
good on it
top
right
and-
now. I've got most of a full track. So,
So what do you
Okay.
think you want to use to resist this strike?
I think this is probably flow. Oh wait, it's resistant. So it's stars, I guess, because it would be flow.
Okay. So roll me 2 dice.
All right.
Look at you taking
6 and
nothing.
4.
All right.
I'm getting all the good rolls out of the way here.
And the last thing before Manon goes, this creature, this thing is shaking itself to wake up. Manon, and so I'm going to put a tick on its clock, unless you would like to resist that.
Let's see here. Sure, I'll resist it.
Okay. Is that 1 out of 4 right now because of the earlier thing? So what do you want to resist? What do you think you're doing to keep that thing from awakening?
Right now I've got this sort of scab that I'm by or whatever.
Yep.
And I think that what it is I kind of do a maneuver where I ease my way in instead of doing a punch in through,
Okay.
so that it just sits real, like just like it was, like maybe there was just a little space wobble. Nothing, like I don't irritate it in that thing.
Okay. Let's have you roll stars.
Okay. So that's 2d6. Four.
Take
So I
2
take
stress. But we come back to you on your action. You've kind of held
Hurrah!
these things. You've got these multiple threats in play that are all dangerous and all acting, have to be fought and resisted. But Octavius has at least kept that ganglion connection and the wake up call, in the sense that if you had done damage to the big one, like you did already with the arm, that causes pain to the thing. But Tyler, Octavius has cut off that connection right now.
Okay. So we can finish off the bigger one. Does the small one, is its ganglion still connected?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then I think I come in and say, need any help, Zavi? I can either cool the area down, or I can take a punch, whichever you prefer.
Cool it down. Yeah,
Right.
that sounds good.
Okay, then
Let's
that's
accept that.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm like, and she does.
So
stop.
you
She
would like
goes,
to do a setup action?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So what do you want to roll to essentially douse this gangling connection with your booster material.
I think at this point I know that this will work. So this is really about like checking and making sure I'm doing it in the right place. I almost think it's perceive or analyze, one of those two, of just like dropping it in the right place.
Okay, I think
Okay.
either of those are 2 dice, so let's roll with that.
Okay. I'm gonna take a hit. I'm gonna use one of my things with Regulus.
Okay.
Because he's wise and imperious. And his wisdom is like, yes, he would rather be slicing things, but in fact, doing this is a sensible thing to do and a worthwhile risk.
Okay.
So,
3
so that gives
dice.
me 3 dice. Oh wait, I just rolled 2d3. That's not
Okay.
good.
That's yeah, you're gonna roll 3 dice.
That's not much better though. That's in fact really bad.
So I think
Um,
as you fly by, there is a beam of gravity that will strike you
Okay.
and creates a shock wave. So 2 things are going to happen. One is that you're going to take damage to your engine. And the other thing is I'm going to put another tick on the wake up clock. You may resist one of those. And then if you want to have one of your companions, if they want to resist one of them, they can do that. Or you can take the hit, one or the other, or you can take both.
I'll resist the wake up.
Okay.
That will be my piloting.
All right. So go ahead and roll then with stars to resist. So you will take 4 stress.
Ouch. Ooh, that's eclipse for me.
Would you like to remove 2 of those?
Sure.
Burn that
That
link.
would be good.
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4 back on. Okay, I'm very close to
Okay.
eclipse.
And unless someone is going to take the hit for you, you are going to
I
mark.
will.
Okay. How are you taking that hit for Manon, Zavi?
I'm right there, and like I see what she's doing. And like, yeah, at the last second, I think I just get the classic jump in front of the person being shot at thing.
Then let's have you roll with stars.
Cool. That is exactly the same roll I did last time I tried to resist. So
Well, that's good. So
yeah, it
you
is
take
good.
no stress. So that was Manon. Let's come to I think we did the order of things there. Let's do Manon, and so we'll go to Sia next, and then Zavi, and then Tav. So Radiant, what are you doing? This thing is still up. It's kind of throwing you around in here, but it's still, this thing is big and tough.
It is, and that's because it's been feeding off of engine energy, and I think being in the middle of it's you said it's fleshy, so it's like
Yeah,
bloody, awful, viscera, woundy sort of stuff going on here.
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So like being in the middle of that, I think Lyra like screams again, and there's this flash, I think like we've seen before, of like their skeleton underneath the plating glowing through, and smelling that collection of energy. It's going like it's fishtailing around the back where that umbilical had plugged into it, and going to try and draw that energy back out of it.
Okay. So what do we think that is? What do you think that feels like? I'd say you're not necessarily approaching it head on. So I
Is it
think
maybe-
this would be flow. Does that feel like
Okay,
right?
I can go with that.
Like you're adapting to your circumstances here. Rather than facing this thing head on. So you'd be standing on 2 dice.
And I will definitely push myself for that.
Okay, burn 2 stress.
Boom.
So 3 dice.
Yes. Fives.
5, 2, 5. So you will reach into this thing and continue to pull and draw, and like it gets smaller. It's still up, but its strength is probably like on your scale now. Like it becomes your size.
Neat.
But I think that their energy is so alien and unpleasant that it is going to damage Lyra taking this in.
Ooh. Yeah, I definitely want to resist that if I can.
Okay. And that's probably sun for resisting
Yeah,
that.
sun is violence and fear. That sounds like a thing.
Yep.
It's a lot fewer dice for that one.
Yes.
It's 2.
So mark 4 stress.
Ooh.
But you do not mark any strength harm on your mecha, but you are locked up, and you clearly, this thing it's probably got another good strike in it, but it might be that another good strike to it might take it out, maybe. Like it'd have to be pretty good, but
And does this attack fit with the hungry impulse for Lyra?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I
That's
think
what I was
so.
going for, to try and draw that energy out.
Yeah.
So I get to mark XP, and that one didn't tick down my transcendence track.
Okay, I like it.
Oh, that
Yeah, don't
was-
forget to mark all the rolls you're making for the transcendence.
I made one roll that I didn't think, but the other ones
Okay,
were.
Because I'm working to burn through those for you. This is the pain that Patrick asked for.
Luckily, only mark transcendence actions when it's an active one, so resistance rolls don't
count. Yeah. Zavi and then Octavius. Zavi, you've helped out Manon. You've got this thing swinging this engine around like a morning star. Manon wasn't able to sever the ganglion. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I have to try to sever the ganglion myself. And I think I said Charon like absorbs energy. So I think the way to do this, I mean, the signals from ganglion are just electrical signals.
Okay.
So I think I'm basically going to like try to cut through it with my engine.
Okay.
And absorb the energy going through the ganglion.
And what do you want to roll that with?
Let's see. Is this defy or is this analyze or is this flow? I think because I'm basically just crashing through them, I think it's defy.
I like that.
I don't think I'm doing this subtly.
Absolutely. So that's 1 die to start.
Yeah.
I'm here to assist.
I can push myself.
So mark 2 stress. You get another die. Manon, you're assisting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get an assist.
That's 2 more
Manon.
die, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So 4 dice.
Nice.
Oh,
that
I
is an
hate this
interesting roll.
roller. I see all the ones. My eyes are immediately
6,
drawn to
1,
the
1, 1, 1,
field
1.
of ones like tombstones, and then there's a 6.
Worry,
And
I'll
since it
roll in a
did
second.
succeed, you
Yeah.
get to clear a stress.
Yes, you get to
Yep.
to do that. So I think you will, well, as you wanted to, sever the ganglions from this thing. As you wish to, kind of sliced on through them. Octavius, you are in the belly of the beast.
All right, the big one is reduced, but still moving.
And still like locked up there with Radiant.
Okay.
Small one is fighting Zavi and Manon.
And its ganglia has been cut.
Has been cut now. So probably that smaller engine that was attached to it goes flying off into the distance.
And our primary mission is to get the engines they're attached to, right?
Yeah. The one that just went flying off and the one that's embedded in the flesh wall.
Well, that one embedded in the flesh wall is going to be unpleasant to get out.
Yes.
Also, like, not having an already defeated Leviathan come back to life is probably a primary mission.
Yeah.
That would be good.
That'd be good. That'd be nice.
Yeah. We got to figure that out somewhere along the way. But I'm worried about losing track of that engine. So I think I'm going to go in pursuit of it. I think it seems
Okay.
like the fight's going fairly well.
Yeah.
We can't lose the engine.
So that probably feels like flow. Like, I mean, that's you speedily flying over to get a hold of it.
Yeah.
So let's have you make that roll. 2 dice.
Right. And I think that there's as I'm coming in, I'm trying to kind of catch and redirect, because even if it's smaller, I can't imagine it's much smaller than me. It's an engine.
No, it's
in
about
itself.
about the size of you, probably.
So I'm kind of going in and wanting to like grab hold and redirect it almost in a twirling dance to bring it back to us.
Oh yeah. So 2 dice.
Okay. And let's see, is it worthwhile for me to try to add anything? Yeah, I'll use a Pegasus to add 1 to it.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll give you another one.
Another
2.
2.
Okay.
Okay. I think that takes me up to 5, doesn't
5
it?
dice.
Okay. I got a 6.
So you will catch a hold of this thing, stop its forward momentum. And I think we're in sort of zero gravity here. So I think you can kind of like push it off in a controlled way towards the exit. It's not going to go out or anything, but you can get it so it is off the battlefield as an issue. You'll have to get it out of here at some point, but right now it's not under threat. Does that seem like a fair
Yeah,
effect?
that makes sense, because we're going to have to transfer a pilot to it somewhere in here anyway.
Absolutely.
Or tow.
Or tow, but I mean, we've got a pilot with us. Hell, we got another engine though, hopefully.
All right. So that was Tav. So now Sia, this thing spins, kind of turns around in your arms, and its face, because it's sort of humanoid, that will kind of split open and will pull forward and push onto the top of Lyra and start trying to draw you inside of it.
No! I was eating you.
Kind of an Ouroboros here. What do you want to do to resist that?
I think first, like as I've been like feeding off that energy, and especially as it like turns around and tries to start feeding off of Lyra, there's been this inside the glowing cockpit sphere crystal thing, whatever. There's been this like creeping wave of darkness across one side, which has been reflected, like the glow on Radiant's shoulder has been darkening. And there's just this voice in his head of Sia for a moment saying, "Those alarms are ringing for a reason, you idiot." And we just see like there's starting from his head, there's this wave of like flesh color that washes over him for a moment as he leads down and like does a couple complicated controls and like initiates firewalls to keep that out. And I'm gonna spend that link that Radiant had with Sia to heal 2 stress.
Okay.
And then resist that thing with
By the way, you just healed stress from your other character. Well done, Patrick. Well done.
I know I'm helping myself out.
Does that feel like resolve or clarity, sun or moon?
I was thinking moon possibly. Yeah, clarity
Okay.
and resisting despair.
Yeah, let's have you roll that die.
Three. It's very middling resistances so far. But that
Mark 3.
all that together gets me 1 away from the end of my track.
Okay. You will get that. What is it that Sia hits that like gets his thing off? Is it some sort of jets or an electrification or some other defense?
Ooh, yeah. So as we see that like wave of blackness retreat along that side, and the countermeasures go, the sort of like lines of crystal that hold the center sphere to the rest of the structure begin spinning around and then just spike out, sort of stabbing into where it had started to suck on the front of Lyra and shocking it with an energy wave as it sort of screams and pulls back.
And it will fly back. I'm going to come to the other 2 actions, but I do want to say something. Tyler, you're the first person to like directly interact with that smaller one. There. We described the other one as humanoid, but we haven't given any details. I want you to think about what this smaller engine looks like, because we haven't described it yet. So you're going to get a chance to do that. By where Zavi and Manon on, you will see this smaller one pulls together this like gravity sphere and throws it towards the wall, essentially trying to feed energy and awaken the great beast here.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can try to shield that from going, so I will attempt to intercept it.
Okay. So that is a resistance roll.
I will spend my last link with Manon to give you 2 extra stress buffer there.
In theory, this is what I'm supposed to be good at, but so all right. So this
Stars?
seems- yeah.
Okay.
So 2, I'll take a link with Regulus. That gives me 3.
Can't do that for resistance rolls.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I always forget that. So just 2.
Okay.
Are you protecting an ally here?
Yeah, a 5. I mean,
Oh, no, we talked
Of-
about that. That's the
Yeah.
step in and actual do.
Yeah. So you'll take 1 stress.
okay.
And Octavius, so that we don't have a tick on the clock, we just still got just 1 tick out of 4 sections on this clock. And I think to vary things up, the great creature that is trying to rumble to awake has sort of 2 choices of what it could do. And what it is going to do is it's going to start to shut that hole. And it is going to close your exit unless you'd like to resist that.
I would like to resist that. That
Well-
seems bad.
Yeah. What do you want to try and do?
Um. I think. I think in the end, this is going to probably be a pretty direct action. I
So
don't
resisting
see,
with sun, just kind of flying forward to
yeah,
blast and keep it from being able to close that up.
right. I
Okay.
just I don't see a good way other than that.
I think that's fair.
Um,
Do you want to spend a link before you do that to lower
I
your stress?
do. I'm going to actually. I think I'll do it with Pegasus.
Good call.
All right, 2 dice. Oh,
That is
twos.
4. But you will blast it, and you will keep it from closing it. And that particular maneuver option is now off the table for it for the rest of the fight.
Which,
As you kind of, the edges, like it can't close it. That field is sort of shaking. But we come back to Manon.
So what we have is an embedded engine that we need and a ganglion smaller one that's throwing a temper tantrum. Is that correct?
Yes, and the one that is on Radiant.
Oh, that's right.
He seems teetery, but still violent.
Yeah, and he's trying to eat you
A little bit.
a little bit.
I'm trying to eat. It's very
It's not good.
It's kind of psychosexual, depending on
Yeah.
how the anime's drawn.
We're in a
In the middle of
complicated
that.
relationship at the moment.
Oh, well, let's see here. This is when I go to protect you. I could do this when I
Yeah.
gather info. Oh, I can do the strike by against someone who has harmed one of my friends, which
Yeah.
they have done. I will go against them. So even if I don't roll that great, I get a +1 effect. So here I will use a dot from Regulus to give me 3.
Okay.
And
Tell me what exactly you are doing.
yeah, essentially, I think what I'm doing is I'm trying to roll 2d3 again. So I'm gonna change that. And then
Before you even get to the dice, let's hear.
yeah. Essentially what it is that I think I'm gonna kind of whip over there and I'm trying to like essentially get around it because it's like there's a grapple kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And it really is about going, where do I fit myself in and hit it in a way that can actually knock Radiant free without me having to hit Radiant. Does that
Okay.
make any sense?
Trying to
It's
do the
very-
damage without causing radiant effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, I'm going for a vector. That's what it is. A useful vector. Okay, so that's 3d6. I got 3, Lowell, but that's 1 effect up, so that's a medium.
Well, that's a failure, is what that is.
It's a failure. Okay,
So
sorry. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so
you need to get
how dare you? Doesn't
yeah,
work.
I mean the effect level, if you got effect, would be thing, but here it's modest effect at most.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. I'm sorry. I was thinking it would take it up 1 level of like from failure to
No.
meh, from meh to
So I
okay,
think
so
as
sorry.
you do that, as you come in there, this thing, you come a little close and it roils like a flesh liquid off from Radiant onto you,
Oh, great.
and it will swallow Soren off the back of you. Do you want to resist that?
I do. I do want to resist it.
All right. So you get an additional die to your resistance roll. So 3d6.
Hold on. Okay, 3d6. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be super
You
awesome.
could
Just
spend
completely
your link
different.
with Soren to heal some stress first.
That
Sure,
makes sense.
it does. I didn't know I could spend links to non-things to heal my own stress. That's cool.
You
Okay.
or the Link's Pro tag recovers 2 stress, yes.
Okay. Awesome. Here we go. So that's 3d6. Let's see. A 6.
So you'll take no stress as you pull Soren away from this thing.
It's almost like I used the whole situation to, just lure the monster away.
Okay. So Radiant, you are free at the moment because this thing is on Manon and trying to eat Soren.
Oh crap! Is that me?
Yeah.
Um,
Is that the sound of the guns?
pew pew.
Pew pew.
They're so quiet in space, though. It's hard to even match.
I keep looking at my playbook, but I don't really have any tricks. I'm just very straightforward once things happen. So yeah, it keeps using it's refusing to be inconvenienced by me having taken off one of its arms because it keeps using its giant amorphous head to suck on things. So why don't I take that off instead?
Seems reasonable.
So I'm going to go
Okay.
sort of
Okay.
fishtail swimming around in a quick circle to get up some speed and come in trying to hit it at the base of where a neck might have been. It's sort of gone weird shapes at this point,
Absolutely.
but that general area.
So that feels like flow. You're trying to get in position and you don't want to harm Manon, right? So you're not taking
True.
this thing on head on. So let's have you roll with 2 dice.
Would this count as fierce? Just me trying to not get mana and get in the way of that.
Yeah, I think that kind of negates that.
It's fair. Okay.
Hungry.
Anybody want to spend a link?
I have one left.
I have none.
I have one wasabi still though.
You want to spend that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that will just give you 1 die because it's not an ally spending.
Oh, in that case, I'll spend it and you
Okay.
save that to give someone else 2 die. Okay.
Smart.
Clever, clever. Okay.
So that gives you 4 dice.
Yes. Wow. Okay. Yes. So many 4s. You said 4 and it heard 4 and it just went with 4s.
I think that you will smash into this thing and cut the head off. But as you kind of twist away and pull it off from Manon, there is a explosion of energy out from it that will tick the clock up by 1. Are you okay with that? The clock is at 1 out of 4. Oh, also you heal the stress because you succeeded
Did
the
heal the
action.
stress because it was successful and I got help with it. That's true. I'm gonna spend that like wasabi instead to heal 2 stress and try and resist that.
Okay. So resist with
This
probably
is weird energy stuff. I don't know, maybe sun, like resolve.
Yeah, that seems to try to hold it in place with Lyra, absorb the energy.
Oh, and this
Hungry.
is very consequences of violence. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
straight up. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that. Now to get rid of all those beautiful dice I just added. Rude. A 1. I rolled a 1. That's
So
good.
you will take 5 stress.
That
Oh,
put me into eclipse.
Yes, it does. So what does that look like when radiant goes into eclipse?
So let's see. Who you really are clearly isn't enough. Only the mask is worthy of their love. You reject all aspects of your everyday self and embrace the most superficial aspects of your persona. Give them what you know they want: effortless beauty and extravagant drama. So yes, okay. I think this energy starts flowing out, and it's doing that thing. There's those indicators of like that corruption, that infection working its way in, and there's Sia's voice saying, "I told you we have to be careful about this." And Radiant says, "There's no time for those sort of tricks. That's not what we need in this situation." And like where his skin had started to change to pink again, he pushes that aside, and instead dives straight for the stream, like letting that black infection wave sort of spread, opening up all the valves to just suck in as much of that energy as possible.
Absolutely. And Lyra says, yes, yes, yes. This is what you are.
Does this count for a hungry?
Yeah, let's give you that.
I think it makes me.
Lyra is supporting your choice to kill off Sia from yourself. Zavi.
Yeah, nobody but me is fighting the smaller
Yeah.
flesh
There's the smaller one, and there's the
engine
one that's
thing.
embedded in the flesh wall.
Cool. Yeah, I probably need to deal with this smaller creature. I don't know exactly how to what to call it.
Smaller flesh engine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I think I don't remember what kind of weapons we said we had, but
Yeah, tell me, what do you have now? We don't have a lot of continuity in our animation, so you can have whatever you want.
No,
I know
think
he
cool
said you had
enough
like a
to show up
laser
again.
sword before.
well, I think the point is that it's not an energy weapon.
Okay.
Like because we're deliberately trying not to do anything that would wake this thing up. So I think as much as I've like complained about the fact that we have like some edged weapon, like when the hell am I ever going to use this?
Yep.
This is when I'm going to use this.
Perfect. What do you want to roll your attack with? Does that feel like defy?
Yeah, I'm straight up stabbing it.
Okay.
gravity stab.
Yep.
Then let's have you roll with 1 die.
Yeah.
Do you want a
Wow,
devil's
I am
a poison
lacking
promise?
yeah, let's hear poison promise.
I think that you slam into this thing, and I think you are going to damage your engine. I'll give you another die for it, though.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay. You could also push yourself.
That's okay. I got a 6.
Ah, damn it.
But I did it. Did damage
So-
my engine.
So what does that look like when you cut this thing down?
I think it tries to do the same thing as the bigger one was doing. Like it kind of splits open and tries to like just absorb me.
Mm-hmm.
And I let it. And then I just slice it from the inside.
And it falls away in 2 pieces, drifting off. There's none of the explosion that Sia had. It's just gone. Octavius, the only thing that's left in here right now is that engine that's buried in the flesh wall.
That is true. Yes, yes, indeed. And getting it is not going to be easy. But I guess I gotta
even on
try.
a success, you're gonna tick a clock on this thing, but you have 3 segments left.
Okay. Then I am going to attempt to get it out.
Okay. What are you doing to do that?
Pegasus, of course, is all, is silver tendrils, liquid metalled around. That's just the way we look as we are flying. And I think as we come in, and there's the odd effect, when you kind of look at Pegasus, there's this feminine kind of woman look to them, but there's kind of multiple legs that show out that get to where it has that like horse-like kind of bottom end. And I think there is this charge straight in that direction. And as we go in, I say, Pegasus, my dear, let us try a pirouette. And we begin spinning, and those tendrils leading out from us are presenting almost as this concentrated cutting blade fan to cut through.
So feels like flow. Is this elegant or principled? Like elegant in that you're doing this in an elegant way, or principled in that you need to get this out? This is the thing you need to do.
I think it's elegant.
Okay. So 3d6.
3d6. And I have 1 link left that would only help get rid of stress. So that's not useful at the moment. All right. I'm doing my 3 dice. Come on, sweetie, let's do well. I got a 4.
So we know that just the cost of doing business, of getting this thing out, is 1 tick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the 4, the mixed success, you'll get this thing out, but I'm going to put another tick on the clock, unless you would like to resist that.
And that'll wake it up, right?
No, you'll have 1 more tick after that.
I'm not resisting.
Not resisting. 3 ticks on the clock as you tear this thing out. And you will feel this vibration from the thing as it pushes up into like 11th gear to drain the energy from all of you. So I'm going to put the 4th tick on the clock unless someone resists that.
I'll resist that.
Absolutely. You got a fresh load of stress to burn, crazy man.
Exactly. And Radiant and Lyra already have like all valves open. We're absorbing that energy. I'm on the right wavelength. I can just, amp up the deflector dish and really do some Star Trek nonsense.
Absolutely. I think that's Sun.
Whew. 1 little die. It's 4 though. That's only 2. That's
2
fine.
stress. And I think we see you keep that from going, and all of you turn, jump jets on, rockets kicking out, and we will see both of the engines plus yourselves flying out towards the exit. Manon, was there something you wanted to do, or do you all want to get out of here?
We want to get out of here. If we can do the switcheroo with the pilot.
We can do that out in
Okay.
space.
Yeah, get back to that warp head.
Yeah, we'll see you fly out of this thing, and you can tell that the only thing keeping this up and intact like a hot air balloon was the power, the like last dregs of power in those engines. And as soon as all of you are out of this thing, it begins to collapse. And you will realize that it is collapsing in a rate that is going to turn into some kind of gravity well bomb ignition here. Let's take 5 and we'll narrate the rush back to the warp head.
my camera doing that thing where I come back in and the wave distance is going to drive me nuts. I hate it.
I'm sorry. I wish I knew why it did that.
Oh,
It wants you to have the whole family on the couch next to you. It can see the
I
couch.
guess so.
My video card is very nice, but every maybe half hour, it does this flicker, whole screen flickers. And sometimes when it's been running for a long time, it'll do that more often, or for particular programs. It's maddening. Because it kind of breaks my flow and concentration whenever I'm doing something. Wow. I'm looking in the chat, and apparently I do not know how to spell transcendence.
Nope.
I don't even know what that word is that I was trying to type.
Transdendence.
Transcendence.
Transdendence.
Transcendence.
So across the dennets.
Yes. So Tyler, let me come to you and ask this question before we do the kind of narrative of the Great Escape here.
Mm-hmm.
What does this other engine look like?
I have a picture actually in the NPCs.
Okay.
It is, the head is of this young of a boy, but it is cast in metal. It is unmoving completely, and then it has that light that at the waist kind of goes into tendrils, and across it, and in the eyes, and in the within is this energy that flows. So the motion that you see from the engine is the light, whereas, like, especially the head, but into the shoulders, remains stock still. It is
Okay.
almost a statue.
All right. I'm screen sharing in case anyone is watching this. I'll also show you the pictures we've chosen for the other mechs, since we haven't done this, the other engines. Kind of scroll through some of our NPCs here. And those are our PCs up at the top row there. So we don't have a picture of Radiant there. We don't even have Radiant in the NPC tab. But we do have Sia up there. So I'm going to stop the share. So I want people to do like the narration of how this goes. What is the sort of initial like jaunt out of this thing, getting out into space? What do we see happening there, Zavi, with the four of you and the two mechs?
I think two of us sort of grab onto the empty engines and tow them. I think let me look at these engines here. Yeah, I think like Zavi grabs the smaller one as on the way out, and somebody takes the with the whoever has the biggest engine, I don't know, grabs the bigger one.
Cav.
He just like hauls them with us
No, I
as
imagine
fast as
Bannon has
possible.
the biggest.
But I mean, you had a hold of the larger of the two. That
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Also, Manon still has a pod with our extra pilot in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, you book out of there. Sia, Radiant, what happens when the first of the gravity waves hits the four of you? What do we see on screen?
We see me having problems with the mute button. I think the wave itself is invisible, but there's this like booming sound inside each of the cockpits, and from the outside we see like double, triple, multi-layered image of the engines fuzzing and sort of like this ghostly drawback like towards the gravity well.
And Tav, Actually, let's do a tab. What do you do when you kind of fly forward? You feel like and then you see the warp head flying towards you, pulled by the gravity and starting to fall into the gravity well of this object.
Okay. I do have enough. No, that's not me. Hang on. Oof. I spend my last link,
Okay.
recover 2 stress, push myself, and freeze it in time so it isn't pulled while we get up to it.
Okay. You are able to hold it just enough for all of you to get onto it, but then you have to let go, and the 4 of you are tethered to this thing as it begins to spin and fall into this like crushing white dwarf thing. Man, and what do we see happen there in those last moments?
I think you see a thing. Um, I still have links with Regulus. Can I use those for effect?
Yeah, just for perfectly for narrative here. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, I think what you see is Regulus bring up this shield. And it's like it comes up, and where we are is just another, like it just holds all of that, everything that's going on past his shield away for that moment. You can feel that we've got just that time, that 30 seconds maybe.
Perfect. Sounds perfect. And you'll get those warp calculations. There is that moment where the warp drive says gravimetric interference. Jump. Jump, yes, no. Warning, gravimetric interference. Warning, jump, yes, no.
Yes.
And boom, you will jump. And you will find yourselves actually pretty close by the bastion there. You're able to do that and arrive.
Can we get Soren into one of them, or do we kind of?
I think you have to do the jump first.
Okay, right.
But I think you'll end up like here's a crit. So very good results there. And make your way back. I think though that you can see there is damage to the last bastion. You will see that in your absence, there has been an attack, and its tier has dropped by 1.
Oh dear.
You can see the patched up remnants of the team Arcturus kind of there as the 4 of you fly back, your ship moving to intercept to get you back. We now go to end of mission. So let's go to that thing. So we do the phases here. Cycle of play mission 26. So mission phase, we do our missions, and then we do the fallout phase. Marks the end of an episode, launching point for events of the next episode. We have an advertising track Every mission exposes the group to reprisals, regardless of mission outcome. Fallout adversary track is by one segment, plus one segment for each of the following that occurred. The adversary's agenda moved forward. I don't think that, but someone did fall into eclipse, and I think your protagonist did come closer to their destiny. So I'm going to mark 3 ticks on the clock.
Which clock?
This is for Leviathans.
And you mentioning that made me think Lyra does take a damage for me falling into eclipse.
Oh, that's right.
While in it.
So Leviathans are on tier 3.
Ugh.
And we roll dice equal to the after mission roll for Fallout, character roll dice equal to the current investigation tier and consult that. So we're tier 2 for our investigations. Okay. I am going to save what that Fallout looks like for the beginning of next time, just because I don't want to introduce a new plot element this late in the thing. But let's go through. The investigation track is also going to drop to half its current level, so we lose 5 ticks from readiness. Protagonists erase all stress from their sheet, erase any unspent links, and reset their transcendence tracks and armor uses. Protagonists who are in Eclipse do not erase stress or reset their armor and transcendence track. So keep that in mind. Your transcendence track does not move, Patrick.
I'd forgotten I'd hit the transcendence track as well.
Yes. So let's see. Let's do end of session. Let's go through our playbook XP questions. Let's start with Tav.
Okay.
Address a challenge with foresight or revelation.
I did go into my investigation last time.
Yeah,
using
yeah.
my foresight.
Yeah, so let's give you a point for that. I think that seems absolutely fair. Express your beliefs, drives, role, or background.
I wrote out my beliefs and drives because I feel like that needed it. So I think I supported Manny as the leader.
Okay.
I don't know if I got into what even last time when we were on Bastion, I wanted to hit that of my stuff of.
Yeah. But I think
you
you did enough stuff that we can mark up an XP for that.
Okay. I was hoping for a 2, but I don't think I got it.
No. Did you struggle with issues from your promises or obligation? Not yet. No.
No.
I'm actually going to give you. I think I did mention a vision that you had with like of what you had seen in the other world.
Oh, you did give me that.
So
yeah.
Let me give you a point for that. And I don't think you embodied your eclipse or displayed the contents of your heart.
I do think I displayed the contents of my heart to Zavi last time when I did that whole conversation about whistling in front of the graveyard and how my upbeatness is a facade.
Okay, yeah, we'll give you that. Let's give you another point. So 4 points.
Thank you.
Manon.
Did I address the challenges with kindness or self-sacrifice?
First of all, did you abide by your code?
I did not do any violence to anyone. I do not believe that I lied to anyone, nor did I ask for help.
Okay, so mark an XP.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question. If none of the protagonists broke the code, did anyone do violence to someone?
I think there was asking for help.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right then.
Let's do your XP. Did you address a challenge with kindness or self-sacrifice?
I certainly stayed out to do, I mean, I guess I did the thing at the what is the word? The gravimetric.
It's all made up.
I know it. Well, it is a word and it means a thing. So kind of, it always makes my eyelid kind of twitch, but that's okay. It's okay. I understand.
I know. I understand. It's your state of transcendentness.
Exactly
Let's give you an XP for that. Did you express your beliefs, drives, role, or background?
I tried. It's certainly in talking to Zavi a few times. I think
Yeah, and I think your whole team building last time with the baseball game feels like that. So let's give you a point for that.
okay.
Did you struggle with issues from your promises or obligation?
Promises, obligation. Let's see here. Obligation is team leader. I did. It was particularly difficult this time around. Things are sort of starting to get hard.
Okay.
So
Let's give you a point for that.
Yep.
You don't have your eclipse. Did you display the contents of your heart to someone?
I did talk to Zabi about, I said that we're here, I'm here, because we're the ones who are still alive. This isn't about who's fit to be a pilot anymore, who's the best. It's who's still alive. I think that was pretty close to my heart, if that makes any sense.
That seems fair.
Okay.
And just because I was just reading through the eclipse stuff, I will point out for everyone, it says in the book that like you can embody your eclipse even without being in it. So if you ever just like, if you feel like you're embodying the worst parts of your archetype, you can call that out. So it's an XP question that's always available, whether you're currently.
Yeah, you had said that last time, and I had forgotten about that. But that's yeah. I don't think you embodied your eclipse there, man, and I think you're a little more flexible.
Yeah. I have rules, but they're for myself. So
Yeah.
I don't think I've pushed those on anyone yet. But just you wait, everyone. Just
Sia, did you address a challenge with mystery or ostentatious action?
I mean, I would say quite a bit.
Okay. You want to read that as multiple times?
Yeah. I think last time, especially with like Radiant being around to go on a full mission and staying around for longer times.
Okay. Let's give you 2 points for that.
And you wore your cool baseball stuff last time.
Express your beliefs, drives, role, or background?
I was gonna mention the baseball game for this one. I think that situation of trying to figure out how Radiant can exist in a mundane situation was sort of a growth there.
Yeah. You struggled with issues from your promises or obligations.
Well, my obligation is about trying to share the body. I feel like
we certainly hit that in the last couple of scenes there. So let's give you another point for that. How did you embody your eclipse?
There was that moment of like shoving Sia's help aside and rejecting it. But I also think as we get back, if you look on the NPCs on the engines tab to the right of Lyra, I have Goth Lyra.
Okay.
And I think like as that sort of corrupted energy, that Leviathan tainted energy soaks into Lyra and sort of changes the look. It also changes Radiant some, and where it had always been more in my mind about like the glow and the blue with those sort of like necromantic things worked in. I think like the skulls and the bones of the necromantic things are shining brighter, coming more to the fore. It's sort of a darker, more ominous blue.
Absolutely. Mark another point for that. And that brings us to Zavi. Did you address a challenge with compassion or honesty?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Did you express your beliefs, drives, role, or background?
Yeah, last time, definitely.
I actually am going to give you 2 points because I think you had a lot of conversations with the other
Yes.
characters that were exposing that. So I'm going to give you 2 for that. Did you struggle with the issues from your promises or obligations?
No, not really.
Okay. Did you embody your eclipse or display the contents of your heart?
Last time I did a couple times.
Yeah.
By trying very hard to tell people, don't rely on me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you killed.
So let's give you a point for that.
Okay.
And let's see, there's also the series stuff, right?
Yep.
Series XP is the notes on that. That's
It's also on the series sheet tab.
yeah, series sheet tab. End of each session for each item below, mark 1 XP or 2 XP if they occurred multiple times. So you successfully carried out a mission from the series list.
We did.
You struggled with your place in the world and protected Last Bastion.
We definitely struggled with protecting Last Bastion.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. Maybe
think,
2 on that
yeah.
one, because there was a lot of places in our world struggle too.
I think we revealed some of the history of the Leviathans and the engines. And I think definitely expressed the nature, origin, and destiny of the group. So let's do a quick stars and wishes, and next time we will begin at the top of the process through. We'll definitely give some time for RP with the group back after the missions and everything, looking at where Bastion is, looking at where the ship is, and all of that. So I would like to do quick stars and wishes. Tyler Octavius.
Oh, I keep being first. Stars. This was a hell of a battle. I think there were a lot of cool things. I liked the way you set up the battle. The mini clocks worked really nicely to keep the pressure on. I thought that was very interesting. And this was a straightforward fight session. We spent a time in here. We gave it all the time it needed. It never felt like repetitive. And that's kind of hard to do in a forged game. And Lowell, you did a good job of keeping us with a lot of things to deal with without it feeling like I hit it. Well, I hit it again. And that's nice. That was very well done. I thought Radiant did some really nifty, fun things in several things. I loved all the way through the fight with the big one that came out of you, Patrick. That was really awesome and dramatic, and the way you talked it up was really, really good. And since at first I want to steal every star, but I will also say that it felt really nice from everyone that even in combat, we were all showing the character. It never felt like numbers and rolls. It felt like I was seeing Zavi dealing with how this situation would account. I was seeing Manon with the struggles of where they wanted to be, how things were going to be handled, how to protect everyone. It was every bit in character when we fought, and I thought that was, that's kind of hard to do.
Mhm.
Again,
Yeah,
Forge
definitely.
isn't always the best at it, and we did a heck of a good job.
Any wishes you want to put on the table?
I do.
We got 3 sessions.
That's part of what I'm talking on.
Okay.
Means we're 2/3 through. I've had 1 advance in a stat. This XP system, we're doing it a little different than it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be every session rather than every completion. But
Wait. I'm sorry, what?
it's not like Mountain Home. It's in every session you get XP. It is not at the end of mission get XP.
Oh, why didn't someone tell me that?
Well, Patrick and I really started thinking and talking about it at the end of last session.
Oh.
And that's part of why we're not advancing, I think, like this game wants. But that said, the things that let you advance because of some of the limitations of this game, it's hard to hit them. It's really hard to hit them hard enough to get that double up. But we're 2/3 through, and no one's gotten anything but that initial boost, I think.
Mm-hmm.
My second boost.
Did you get your second this time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
I got a stat and a playbook this time.
Yeah, I've gotten 9 XP this campaign. Which means that very likely we're going to get to the end of the campaign and have had 2 ups. And it feels like it should advance faster. And I don't know if that's you, Lowell, because again, when we call back, it's not like we're hitting a bunch of multiple times, even for it to be session to session. There's something a little twee in it.
No, I think you are right here. I'm just so used to it, and it's kind of unclear because they don't make a great distinction between mission and session and what the span of that is.
It does say right there on our playbooks, though, at the end of each session, do the XP.
Have everybody get let's get 4 more XP, everybody. Distribute it as you wish. I think that should at least get everybody an advance and a little bit more, and we'll definitely do XP at the end of each session going forward.
And again, that's like I say, there's something to not that factor alone that this ain't a quick. It feels like it wants you to get cool advances, but there's a weird.
I don't think it does. I mean, I don't think that's a thing with Forge in the Dark. I think Forge in the Dark is slow. I think actually, given that we give things lots of room to breathe in the space that we do these things, I actually think if we had been giving XP per session, we would be ahead of where the game expects us to be. Because
you're so tight on time, because I know we play other games where we will chat quite a bit.
4 sessions for a mission, I think, is more than they expect.
Okay.
Given how they describe that a series is 10 to 12 sessions.
That is sort of true. Okay.
Yeah. But regardless, I think it's fair to say 4 more XP, and we'll do the XP at the end of each session and try and get that moving a little bit more.
Awesome. My other wish is for a game bit of I do want to have at this point. I obviously want to have a chance to start paying off the Sia relationship as we're heading into the home stretch. And I would like that chance with Manon where we kind of talk the nature of Bastion and have a philosophical conversation there.
Okay.
Because I got to have a little one with Zavi, but it's a focal of my character to kind of want to have that with Manon because I know how much it means to her. And I think that would be a neat character exchange.
Well, definitely, if that's a scene you want to call, you should make sure
Yeah.
to call that when we do that next time. And I also have the interesting dynamic of, are we going to see Sia given the eclipse, or how are we going to see? That I think that's going to be a really interesting set of things.
Yeah, we got two folks to break out of eclipse, and that ain't always easy.
No. Manon.
It's because we got to do the conversation that is recognizably the one that is supposed to do the thing.
That's kind of why I didn't want to go into eclipse. I was like, we've already got two, and we ain't even touched them.
Manon, stars, wishes.
Lots of good character play. I think this is probably way up there on a forged game of character. I mean, our dwarves are pretty darn dwarvy all the time too. I don't know, we're just awesome. Okay, so there you go. It does feel crunched. This is definitely a far more desperate game than Mountain Home, and even I think more so than Forge in the Dark, which is interesting and yet nerve-wracking. I like the way that it deals in session with stress and with, essentially all the roles in things. Though I would very much like to roll at least average on my dice on occasion.
You guys were up and down. There were some very good rolls that a lot of you had.
Up and up, and I was down and down. So I had very sucky rolls. I had 2 meh and mostly fails, but it just is like frustrating, of course. And then if I wouldn't type 2d3, that'd be good. But wow, I really love the game. I like the pressure. And I'm looking forward to all the good stuff. I don't know. It's pretty darn good.
Any wishes?
Yeah. 3 sessions feels like not enough, but I think we can make them 3 really awesome goodbyes to these characters. So that's what I want.
All right. Radiant.
Hello. This was awesome. This was so weird and gruesome. The like people in cocoon husks that had been devoured on the inside, and then their faces had been like reprinted in these giant stretched out forms on the outside of it. That was insane. That was so cool. That was so neat. Like it was just it was great.
Sherry saying don't encourage him.
The weird horrible flesh monsters that were also like duplicates of the engines was really cool. It was all I loved it. But more particularly where like you had talked about me saying to push it further, this definitely felt pushed further. This game makes characters that are so infinitely punchable because it gives you so many tools to not go down or not get pushed out of a fight. And so I can sympathize with like that must be hard from your end to keep punching and keep punching and keep punching because we still have some more dots lingering around in these various places. But it felt hard. It felt like hard won at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going for. This is a very neat setup. Tyler, I liked your work with Pegasus and the sort of like shifting and morphing nature of it. Like it feels very Liquid Metal Terminator 2, which is, I'm at a right age. That feels like the most dangerous technology that could ever be made. So it was really cool to see you go from these like dancerly elegant moments to just like sharp and cutting and awful and vicious sort of thing. That was really cool. Sherry, I really enjoyed seeing you like struggle to be leader over a difficult to control group, especially with Radiant sort of going on a tantrum. Um, but you're like shepherding of the others in through the gate and trying to keep a handle on things as we were going was nice. And Ethan, I felt from a lot of Zabi's choices that like self-defeatist attitude of the eclipse and the like, I'm not worth it. My pain doesn't matter. So why don't I take that consequence? Why don't I just throw myself in the way of that? Yeah, I will go do that. So that's, it hurts, but it's cool to see from Zabi at the same time. As far as wishes, Tyler, I agree. I was also thinking about the Sia and Tav storyline and like where we could push that. And so I'll push it to a very pointed place, which is that my eclipse, to escape my eclipse, when someone shows you the truth of their own heart and you reveal your identity to them. So I think we can pay off both of our secrets, both of our reveals in a really good scene. I'm not saying that's the first scene of the next session, but like I think we can work towards a very definitive scene there.
Oh yeah, I think that's right. And Zavi.
Yeah, I just echoing everything everybody else has said. Like I like how everybody was effective while still playing their characters. I'm in another campaign where like every time our characters get into a fight, some of them, because their character would be terrified and not good at this, they can either play their character or they can play the game. And I like how we all found ways to like play the game as our character. That's like, I don't know, that the other campaign is also Forged in the Dark, which is like, and I've seen that happen a lot, and I frequently will have to make decisions like, okay, do I make progress here, or do I act like my character would, so I like that everybody actually didn't have to choose, like found ways to do both at once, in like pretty much every move. I mean, some of them that was really obvious. Okay, yeah, I do this, but most of the time it's like everybody did things in distinct ways that, made sense for their character. Also, Patrick, you cracked me up with the like, no, I'm supposed to be eating you. It was good.
Anything wishes wise?
Yeah, I was looking for an opportunity to finally take that Hero's Destiny move, but the opportunity didn't arise. But I will continue looking for it. So that's half a wish for me, to like notice when I have a chance to do that. Probably next mission. Probably not outside of a mission. I mean, I guess you could do it during downtime theoretically. It's unlikely. But yeah, so that's more wish for me than anything else.
Okay.
And yeah, other than that, I guess my only other wish is also for me, which is like actually look at the promises and use them.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to look at, to check out,
Yes,
and to
yes.
remember. Yeah. All right. Thank you all very much. I enjoyed this little segment. For me a chance to do big space galactic body horror. Always on my list. I am going to stop the recording.